American airports today. Newsmax, sir. You've deployed ICE.
You're not doing a very good job.
You've deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a good job. Did you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
What exactly do you want from
You
these
believe it? I'm
talks?
taking CNN over Newsmax.
What
You believe
exactly
it?
are you... And who's in control of it? Will Iran still be able to control the flow of oil?
Be jointly controlled.
By who?
Maybe me.
There has been so much information flowing social media in the past few hours. This past weekend was absolutely insane. Somebody's lying, somebody's bluffing, and this is affecting not just hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars around the world. President Trump gave Iran 48 hours to open up the Strait of Hormuz, or else he's going to take out their entire energy sector, all their plants. And Iran said, to hell you will. If you do that, we're going to just retaliate and make your life miserable, and all of the neighboring countries in the Middle East are going to feel the pain. Early this morning, about an hour and a half before the stock market opened, there was a development. Kind of, sort of, because now we're finding out it's not really what it was said that it was. Somebody's lying, somebody's bluffing. I'm not accusing Trump of lying. Maybe Iran is, or maybe Trump is bluffing. I have no idea, but this is insane. You're going to want to stick around for the full timeline so you know what the heck is going on. Let's get right into this. My head actually hurts from piecing all of this in chronological order. So over the weekend, President Trump said peace through strength, to put it mildly. And then early this morning, Russia calls on the U.S. and Israel to immediately stop escalating conflict with Iran. Then Iran started making these trolling videos with animated clips calling it Lord of the Strait, centered on the Strait of Hormuz clash. I mean, that's just kind of next level. And then President Trump, right before the stock market opened, said, I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period. Subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions, thank you for your attention to this matter. And then what I thought was kind of crazy was there was a pretty big spelling error in this. Well, I mean, depends how you consider big. Which conversations which will continue was spelled as in like the actual, like a witch. I don't know, it's kind of funny to me. But then you have Polymarket breaking the news that Iranian state media claims they have not been in contact with Trump regarding peace talks despite his claims. And you have multiple actually sources confirming that the RGC affiliated Iranian media say there were no discussions with Trump and claimed that he backed down out of fear of the Iranian retaliation. Multiple people have confirmed this. And then the stock market opened and oil prices dropped 10% just on the result of President Trump making his Truth Social post. And then you have, again, more talks that Iran fully rejects Trump claim. There have not been any direct or indirect contact with President Trump. Officials accuse him of trying to buy time. They also call his statements psychological warfare. And then the stock market opened. Oil and crude oil, all that stuff crashed. The S&P 500 is up about 2 or 3% on the day, which is absolutely crazy. Then President Trump told CNBC after his announcement, what's happening now in Iran can be described as a regime change. And then people that track insider trading found that Trump's insider with a 100% win rate just opened a $201 million long ahead of the U.S. market open. The guy went all in for the first time since October crash, where he made $65 million in just 3 hours, and you can see the position right there. And then you have Iran issuing a statement denying, an official statement denying that President Trump, his post claiming that the U.S. and Iran have had productive conversations. Iran officially said there's been no direct or indirect contact. President Trump is trying to buy time. President Trump withdrew from power plant strikes after Iran's firm warning. President Trump's comments are psychological warfare. And that's just left a lot of people kind of wondering what the hell is actually going on. Then Iranian foreign minister says there's no talks with the United States, claims Trump's statements are an attempt to lower energy prices and buy time for military plans. I mean, is that true? Is that not true? Well, we're going to find out. Then you have an announcement of a diplomatic delegation led by Mr. Korashamshar, or whatever to do, and that will be held later on tonight. Then you have Russia issuing a statement warning the U.S. against striking any more power plants. You also have Polymarket, just throwing this in here, said that North Korea's Supreme People's Assembly voted to reappoint Kim Jong-un as president of the president of State Affairs. Good job for such an amazing turnout, I suppose, Kim Jong-un. Then back to everything else that we're going on here. Market manipulation claims and accusations towards President Trump, mostly from leftist media outlets. This guy right here works for Midas Touch, which is a massive leftist organization. The timing of Trump's threats, usually Friday nights, and backing down, usually early Monday mornings, on war and tariffs tell you all you need to know. Then you have Turkey, Egypt, and Pakistan apparently have been passing messages between the U.S. and Iran in an effort to de-escalate per Axios. So now we're getting real information as to where all of this kind of confusion really lies. Then President Trump said this early this morning.
So tomorrow morning sometime, their time, we were expected to blow up their largest electric generating plants that cost over $10 billion to build. It's a very good one. There was no dearth of money. And one shot, it's gone. It collapses. Why would they want that? So they called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. And it's got to be no more wars, no more nuclear weapons. They're not going to have nuclear weapons anymore. They're agreeing to that. And
we actually find out as this continues what exactly the demands are by President Trump for Iran.
Iran's foreign ministry says you're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations to end the war.
Well, they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. But we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them. They went, I would say, perfectly. I would say that if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict. And I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great relationships with a lot of them, as you know. A lot of them were surprisingly hit. And I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else. But we have, they're very much in mind in the discussions. So the discussions took place yesterday. They went into yesterday evening. They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal, too. We're going to get together today by probably phone because it's very hard to find a country. It's very hard for them to get out, I guess. But we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
It gets even funnier as we continue this video. You'll find out what more and more of these demands really are. And it's very advantageous for President Trump and the United States. But I want to take this one right now before I play the next clip. What do you think about all this? Do you think Iran is lying? Do you think Trump is bluffing? Do you think it's a combination of both? Or do you think that, I mean, Iran is full of shit and President Trump is doing what's best for America and Americans? Let me know what you guys think down below.
What exactly are you looking for in these talks, Mr. President?
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it, low key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want the nuclear dust. We're going to want that. And I think we're going to get that.
Uranium?
We've agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
You want the enriched uranium before you can end this.
And we want no enrichment, but we also want the enriched uranium. If this happens, it's a great start for.
So not only would Iran not be able to have any enriched uranium, but America would be getting all of the enriched uranium, which is one hell of a good deal for America.
For Iran to build itself back, and it's everything that we want. And it's also great for Israel, and it's great for the other Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, all of them, Kuwait and Bahrain in particular. So it's great for all of them.
Yeah, so this actually developed further the situation, and we are going to continue because it does actually get crazier. The claims of who's talking to who. I mean, you're going to see. You can skip a couple of minutes or you can wait.
Deployed ICE agents to American airports today. Newsmax, sir. You deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a very good job.
You deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a good job. Did you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
What exactly do you want from these
believe
talks?
I'm taking CNN over Newsmax.
What exactly are you looking for in these talks?
President Trump is taking questions from news or from CNN instead of from Newsmax. Holy crap, man. Trump is so funny. So funny.
From California, given that it'll take them weeks to arrive, is the intention to police the Strait or take part?
What are you talking about?
Well, it's been reported that there are Marines that left California, left San Diego last week, at the end of the week. Why are they headed there now?
Well, let me ask you this. If you were in my position and I asked you that question, do you really believe I'd give you an answer? It's a crazy question.
Mr. President,
We don't talk about strategy, yeah?
Reporters want the exact details on what President Trump's strategy is, which is pretty freaking funny. And then coming from Fox News, Trump says we have a major point of agreement with top Iranian officials with war to be settled in a 5-day period if everything goes well. But here's where it gets crazy. The Iranian parliament speaker, Mohammad Ghalibaf, is reportedly the one negotiating with the United States. So I looked him up, and it's not Ghalibaf, it's Ghalibaf, little typo there. But nonetheless, I just used Grok to ask a question. Does this Iranian parliament speaker, Mohammad Ghalibaf, have the authority to conduct negotiations with President Trump? And in summary, Ghalibaf can speak forcefully on the topic and may participate on internal discussions, but he has no constitutional or practical authority to lead or conduct official negotiations with President Trump or any foreign head of state. That power resides with the supreme leader and executive branches under his oversight. So to me, this signals that President Trump is actually looking for a regime change, and he's trying to hand select who will be the next, supreme leader or whatever of Iran. Because if he's talking to somebody that doesn't actually have the power and authority to follow through with what President Trump is trying to negotiate, I mean, I don't think President Trump would be wasting his time on some nobody unless he's appointing the nobody into somebody.
The price of oil will drop like a rock as soon as a deal is done. I guess it already is today. No, we have a very serious chance of making a deal. That doesn't guarantee anything. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not going to come out here in a week or 2 weeks and have you all say, oh, you said. I didn't say anything. All I'm saying is we are in the throes of a real possibility of making a deal. And I think if I were a betting man, I'd bet for it. But again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. They want to make a deal very badly.
It's kind of crazy how big of a drop the price of oil did take this morning from this simple announcement that President Trump posted on Truth Social. But then you have Iran Security Committee spokesperson Ebrahim Rezai says that President Trump is lying or talking nonsense and rules out talks, which I mean, is pretty wild. Then the Iranian parliament speaker, Ghalibaf himself, says that Iran didn't hold negotiations with the U.S., calling it fake news to manipulate the markets. So even the man himself, who apparently was talking to President Trump or somebody from the Trump administration, is apparently calling it out, saying it's fake, which, I mean, throws this entire situation into question. And the only question that needs to be asked is, what the hell is going on?
What do you want from these talks?
I'm taking CNN over Newsmax.
What exactly are you looking for in these talks next, Mr. President?
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it, low key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want the nuclear dust. We're going to want that. And I think we're going to get that. We've agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
You want the enriched uranium before you can end this.
And we want no enrichment, but we also want the enriched uranium.
Iran gets nothing. America gets all the goodies. And the final announcement of the video is this right here. What's going to happen with the Strait of Hormuz? What's going to happen with the negotiations? Well, President Trump actually gave his final answer.
And who's in control of it? Will Iran still be able to control the flow of oil?
Be jointly controlled.
By who?
Maybe me. Maybe me.
You want the United States to be in
Me
control
and
of
the Ayatollah, whoever the Ayatollah is, whoever the next Ayatollah. Look, and there'll also be a form of a very serious form of a regime change. Now, in all fairness, everybody's been killed from the regime. They're really starting off. There's automatically a regime change. But we're dealing with some people that I find to be very reasonable, very solid. The people within know who they are. They're very respected. And maybe one of them will be exactly what we're looking for. Look at Venezuela, how well that's working out.
So there you go. That to me confirms that it doesn't matter who President Trump is speaking to right now, whether they are somebody or whether they are nobody. What this tells me is that if President Trump is actually talking to a mid to low level Iranian parliament person, right? Somebody on the inside of their government. If that's the person that President Trump is hand selecting to speak to, that's for a very specific reason, because, well, as you've seen, President Trump and the United States have completely wiped out so much of the Iranian regime in such a short amount of time that it's in Iran's best interest to comply, to open up the strait and to get the flow of oil and commodities flowing again. But I want to pass the question off to you. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like there's some weird influx of information right now? Who's lying? Who's bluffing? Let me know where you guys stand down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.